Hello again, time for a new model railway news update to keep you up to date with some interesting new announcements from these manufacturers. And we've got some new models to show you across a number of different scales as well. But as always, this is a totally unbiased news update. I don't have any affiliate links and I'm not sponsored by any manufacturer or supplier to do this video. So remember to shop around for the best prices. Okay, with that all said, let's get on with it. First up, a worthy cause supported by Dapol and options across 3 different scales. It's the 80th anniversary of VE Day in 2025 and Dapol are commemorating this with a run of new livery options on some models to observe this important day. Yes, it's the old ventilated van again, but this time with special VE Day 80th anniversary liveries. There's one for Air Force, Army and Navy, and they all feature special decorations to mark the event. The RRP for these is £15.20 for pristine and £16.40 for weathered. Apparently a donation will be made by Dapol to the Royal British Legion for each model sold, and this is also the same for the other models coming up in a moment. It doesn't actually say if it means all profits for the sale of these vans or not. I suspect not, and also some retailers are discounting these already too, which I think kind of misses the point. Anyway, moving on, for N scale we have these gunpowder vans in almost identical liveries and priced just a little cheaper at £12.30 for pristine or £13.60 for weathered. And for O scale we have the Great Western standard 12-ton van with 3 very different livery options here, but all with the same running numbers, which I think is a bit annoying. But anyway, these are priced at £48.96 for pristine and £51 for weathered. This is a very worthwhile cause and I hope these do sell well, with all these commemorative models being available in April 2025. Piko have announced quite a large range of new models at the moment, and the first one we're going to look at is in the large G scale, and it's this, the Deutsche Reichsbahn BR 91.3. This is from Era 3 in the classic black and red livery. It's quite a good looking locomotive this, and it's got a lot of extra features and interesting parts to it. It does have DCC sound and directional lights, and is only coming in the digital version. And wait for the price. It's priced here in the UK around £1,350. Yeah, you saw that right. A great looking model, but wow, what a price. Now we're moving down to the more popular HO scale, and of course Piko do a number of different ranges here to suit different budgets, and we're going to start off with the Expert range. The first one they're releasing is this, the RH383 from the Czech Republic. This is in the Prague, Berlin, Hamburg route, which is quite a nice looking professional livery. This is a model obviously that's come out before, but it's a very refined one. Here it's just with this new livery on it though. It does have the Plux 22 interface for DCC operation and directional lights, as you would expect, as do most of the other Piko models. This one comes in 3 different flavours with a price of £230 for the analog DC version, or £360 for the 2 different variations of digital with sound. You can either get this DCC or AC depending on your layout. Next, it's another Era 6 locomotive. This time it's the BR248 bi-mode locomotive. This one is in the North Rail Piko WFL livery, and this is a special livery that's been applied to this particular locomotive, mostly to promote Piko, to be fair. I don't think it's really that good a livery. I think the logos are just being plastered on this almost a bit randomly, but the model itself is actually really good. And you can get this in different liveries as well, but if you fancy this one, the price is around £210 for analog or £320 for the digital versions with sound. And we're sticking with Era 6 for this. It's the BR187. This one is number 002 in the TXL livery. It's basically a silver livery with mostly just a big sticker on the side of it, to be honest. I'm not sure it's my favourite livery on this either, and again other options are available, but if this one appeals to you, the price, a little bit cheaper now, is around about £200 for analog or £300 for digital with sound. Now this is a really characterful locomotive from Era 3. It's the Czechoslovakian RHS 489.0. Very sci-fi looks on this and a colour scheme to match. It really looks quite fantastic. It's only coming in DC at £275 or DCC with sound at £400. There's no AC version of this one released just at the moment, but it does look really good, and obviously it comes with the usual Plux 22 interface and directional lights as well. So we're jumping eras a little bit, we're back to Era 6 here, and it's a Vossloh DE18 diesel locomotive. This is a very modern looking machine with a very modern looking livery on it as well. These are just representative images at the moment. We don't actually have a photo of the real model, but if I do get my hands on a photo of the real one, I'll do a video about it. So remember to subscribe and I'll keep you updated. Anyway, this is coming very soon and the price is around £180 for analog DC and around £290 for the digital versions with sound. A couple of Polish locomotives coming up. It's the PKP represented here with an SU-46 diesel locomotive in an Era 5 livery. It's a fantastic retro looking livery on this one, and I especially like the Polish way of having these massive big headlights on the front of their locomotives, and this one has just that. Again, just two flavours of this. The analogue one is 235, or the DCC with sound is 360. And another Polish PKP locomotive, and again with crazy big headlights on the front. It's this ST44 diesel in the Era 4 livery. Quite a basic livery this one. It's really starting to show its age, and you can get this model in different liveries too. But if this one appeals, it's priced around £200 for analogue and £330 for DCC with sound. I think the sound file on this would probably be really interesting though. Still staying in Poland, but now in Era 6, we have the PLK SM42 diesel locomotive, and a very bright livery here with yellow wasp stripes at the front and these white handrails. Really has a lot going for this model. I really quite like this one. It's only coming in analogue at the moment at around £180. I'm not sure if there's going to be a DCC sound version of this, but I will update if I find out. And also from Era 6 we have the PKP IC EP09, this one number 046. Now I've actually seen this one in the flesh. It's quite an interesting looking locomotive, and again with the big massive headlights at the front. I just love that style. This one also comes in analogue or DCC with sound. The price is at £240 for analogue DC or £360 for the digital one. Next we have this 3-car EMU set. It's the Abellio BR442 Talent 2 3-car EMU. It's got a fantastic livery on this one. Really looks very stylish and it's got a lot going for it. Very eye-catching this set. Unlike the rest, it doesn't have Plux 22 as an 8-pin DCC interface on this one, but it does have the directional lights as well. And this could be yours for £255 for the DC version or £375 for digital with sound. And they're also expanding out their expert range of rolling stock. This is a sliding door van from Era 6. It's a model that's been out before. It's just a new logo here, and that's very similar with the other wagons that you're about to see. This one I think is quite reasonably priced at £40, and remember this is the expert range with a lot of detail on it. The next one has got a fantastic colour scheme. It's got a chrome tank on this GATX tanker wagon, representing something from Era 6 in the chem oil livery. A great looking model this one, and priced around £60. And now we have this type FALNS side discharge hopper wagon. Now this is a very popular hopper wagon across Europe, and there's been many models of this and very similar ones. You're undoubtedly, if you've got a European model railway, you'll have at least one of these type of hopper wagons already. But if this one from Era 5 in the SNCB Belgium livery markings appeals to you, then it's going to be around about £50. But alternatively, you can opt for this twin pack. It's the VTG livery of the same hopper wagon. This time it's in Era 6 livery, and you get two wagons here with different running numbers on them. This twin pack is priced around £95, so you save yourself around about a £5 if you want two of these over the last model. Another model that you can get loads of different variations of is this tarpaulin wagon, and here it's being offered in a twin pack from VKS in the SBS cargo livery, and it's got this bright orange tarpaulin. You won't miss these wagons, that's for sure. This twin pack comes in around about £85. I've talked about these telescopic wagons before, but we didn't have a picture of the actual models, and now we do. These two are in the FS livery and they're from Era 4. Again, different running numbers, and it comes in a twin pack for around about £85. And now we're on to coaches, and Piko have produced this range of graffitied coaches. These are the DBAG intercity coaches, and this one is a type BV MMZ 187. It's a second class coach from Era 6. I'm not so keen on this effect because it looks as though these have just been stuck on like transfers. It doesn't really look realistic, especially because they're not weathered as well, but if this coach appeals to you, then it's priced around £70. And to match with it, we also have the type BPMZ284, which is a second class coach with different types of graffiti on it, but again, it just looks a bit stuck on. It's also priced £70. And finally, you also have the first class coach, that's an APMMZ126 with graffiti on it as well. This is also priced at £70. So Piko also do the Expert Plus range, which is even more detail, and often it comes with a metal body as well. The first one they've announced here today is the Deutsche Bundesbahn BR62 steam locomotive from Era 3, a massive big tank engine this one, and it's only being offered as a digital version with sound. So much detail on this, it just looks absolutely fantastic. Anyway, this is priced around about £575, which is a lot of money. Now we've seen something very similar to this in the Expert range, but here we have the DBAG BR248 locomotive from Era 6. It's got a lot of features and extra parts added onto this, especially around the front at the buffers there. And again, it's just a digital model, this time coming in around £400. Now we're on to the Accurascale Classic range. This is usually older stuff which has been re-released. The first one is this Type FALS side discharge hopper wagon in the Vestcraft livery. It is quite a smart looking slab-sided hopper wagon, this one, and it's priced at around £40. Back to Belgium and Era 3 with this SNCB cement silo wagon. It's always a popular wagon, this one. I actually quite like them too. And this one is priced around £35. Quite a plain livery on this though. And finally, in the Classics range, we have this, the good old Type ELO open wagon. This one is in the DSB markings. Quite a plain little wagon, but it's priced only around £19, which I think is fair enough. So we move on to the hobby range, which is a bit more budget, but I actually think it gives good value for money, these. The first one is this SBB Cirsa long wheelbase van from Era 6, the type of unsung hero van that just keeps on running. This model is priced around £30. And we're also being offered this salmon pink SBB type EAOS gondola from Era 5. Quite an interesting colour scheme on this one, and it does actually look like a bit of a basic model, but it is only priced at £20. Finally, we have something for TT scale as well, and it's just one wagon. It's this, the CSD beer wagon. I'm not even going to try and pronounce what that actually says on the side of it. I'll undoubtedly get the pronunciation wrong, but it is quite an interesting wagon in green from Era 3. They have produced this with different liveries though, and it is priced at £40, which seems like an awful lot of money for a TT scale wagon when you can get an HO scale wagon with more stuff on it for the same price. But anyway, if this appeals to you, it's coming before the end of the year. So finally, some good news about Hornby. They've been getting a bit of a bashing recently about their model of locomotion that's just come out, and a few people are highlighting issues with the DCC chip fitment, and that's soured their release a little bit. But it's not all doom and gloom for Hornby, because on the plus side, they've just gone and won an award. No, not for locomotion, but actually under their Jouef brand. And I think it's worth highlighting this. So would you believe there's a French Federation of Model Railways who each year give a special award for companies that make efforts making the French railway modelling hobby accessible. And they revealed at the recent Orleans Fair that Hornby Jouef won the award this year for their SNCF X4317 diesel railcar. And what a cool model it is too. It's a good balance between detail, mechanicals and affordability, and I think it's a worthy winner. Well done Hornby, it's not all bad. You can still get hold of this model, although there are limited numbers remaining from the Jouef website for an RRP of £218.49. An odd price, but it's probably converted from euros. On to Marklin now, and they've just announced their range of new museum wagons for 2025 already. First, for HO scale, we're being offered this impressive Type FACNS 133 bogie rotary valve side unloading wagon, quite a mouthful. This is an Era 6 livery of the DBAG, and it's in this bright yellow livery promoting the construction company Leonard Weiss as it celebrates its 125th year in 2025. This model has a metal frame with very delicate attached details and an etched metal brakeman's platform with perforated grating. It also comes in a very attractive special metal box too, and will be available only from the Marklin Museum shop in Germany. If you're lucky enough to visit, you can pick this up for €54.99. But that's not all, as Marklin are also offering models for other scales, including this one in the large gauge 1 scale. This time it's the Type FCS 092 rotary valve side unloading wagon, again in the bright yellow finish. This is actually 30.5 centimeters long, quite a large wagon that features movable parts as well. Also only available from the museum shop, this is €329. No mention if this comes with a fancy box though. I suspect probably not. From the huge to the tiny, we have this model for Z scale as well. This is the Type FCS rotary valve side unloading wagon. A very similar wagon to the last one, but there are some small differences between this Type FCS and the Type FCS 092. Anyway, this model is just 43mm long and is priced at €43.99. So over €1 per millimetre. Don't know if that's good value for money or not. Anyway, we're also being offered one under the Trix branding, and guess what? It's the Type FCS 092 wagon, same as the Gauge 1 model, but obviously this time in HO scale. Now this one does come with a special tin. This time you can see it has the Trix branding on it. This one is priced at €49.99. Finally, Minitrix has an N scale version of, yes, you've guessed it, the Type FCS 092. Again, this one doesn't come with a tin, but it is more expensive than the last at €54.99. LGB get a museum wagon. Well, coach this year too, and it's not a yellow Lionheart Weiss one. Shocker. and it's this, and I'm surely going to get the pronunciation wrong, but I'll give it a go. It's the Pressnitztalbahn coach with the 25 years back to Steinbach logo on the side, representing it how it looks in Era 6. It features opening doors and a full interior and is 58 centimetres long, priced at the museum shop at €289. Irish Railway models next, or technically this is your Accurascale news update. They always have to be in one of these videos as they never seem to take a break. Anyway, we have been given some production updates on their NIR Hunslet diesels with some decorated sample photos, and don't they look good? You can really see how the livery looks now on the model, and it certainly looks pretty good to me. All the different variants are covered with these photos, and we even get a close-up image of the detail around the cab windows and the silver on the door handle. Very well done there. And you can see the control panel dials through the window there. Very nicely done. Underneath, the complexity of the locomotive is represented well too. It's definitely a very attractive model already, but there are going to be some improvements even over these versions. We've been told this will include improvements to the paint application on GSM aerials, improved operation and alignment of sprung buffers, a factory fit drawhook and separate couplings into the accessory bag. There's an allocation of accessory items to each SKU, improved manufacturing process to eliminate ejection pin marks, an improvement to the casting process on the chassis block, and finally improvements to the paint coverage on the MU fittings. I'm really very impressed with this model so far and the attention to detail that's been put into making this a truly special model. Even though these look like finished models, there's still quite a wait for them to be available, with delivery expected at the end of 2025. But as things progress, I'll keep you updated. Could this be the model of the year for 2025? Can't wait to find out. I can't believe it's been 10 years since Scale Model Scenery launched its first ever kit, but nevertheless, to celebrate this milestone they have re-released the first one they ever did, this Victorian alehouse building. It's been completely redesigned from the ground up and incorporates the latest materials and modelling techniques. It now features intricately layered laser-cut windows, newly developed hand-rendered photorealistic wall textures and pre-weathered roof slates. It also features easy-fit window installations with a realistic wooden sash appearance and glazed acetate for optional interior detailing. Posable doors include engraved and layered details, while optional signage, drains and cellar doors enhance customization and realism. When built, the total area is 288mm by 188mm, including the grounds, and it does look really good. It offers various options to make the kit in different ways and would make an excellent addition to your layout. Available now for an RRP of $39.99, you can buy this direct from their website. And that wraps it up for this edition of Model Railway News, and this is likely to be the last one before Christmas. So I wish you all the very best for the festive season, and I'll catch you once I sober up. Oh yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya!